Welcome to the very second daily baseball report live stream. I hope everyone is having a really great Saturday. I know that there are some games that are just about to get started. Jacob deGrom is going to be pitching. Chris Archer is going to be pitching. There's some games that we want to get to. But without all that going on, I want to make sure I come on here and keep a monthly schedule where I come and I become live. And I want to have a really interactive conversation with everyone that is part of the Daily Baseball Report. And that's one of the main things that we have this channel, is because I want community. I want people to engage with me and with others who are going to be commenting on the show. So if you haven't, please share this with everyone that you can. Just go down to that little arrow, share it with everyone that you can. If you're on Facebook or whatever, just give it a share so that way we can start growing this thing and getting some real intellectual discussions about baseball. We're going to have a really good discussion today about baseball and really what happened in that first week of baseball. Some of the big news, some of the more smaller things, and some things you may not be thinking about with individual players. We're going to start from a global perspective. We're going to look at the entire major leagues as a whole. So we're going to look at the standings as it is currently, what that possibly could do for a potential power ranking, and because I'm going to do a power ranking at the end of every month. So what that might do for the power rankings, and is that going to stay? Is it not, etc. And then we'll go into individual players and their basis. See, is someone just a flash in the pan and just getting started, or is those who are just having a slow start again, or what the case? So we're going to be going over a couple of those. And then after that, I'll go over a little bit more about what we're going to see in the future with the channel. And that'll be it. So I'm going to kind of quickly get into this. And we'll start with, let me share my screen here. I'm going to show you our Major League Baseball standings. So what you should be seeing is a American League East at the top of the screen here. And if you would have told me at the beginning of spring training that the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox would be 1-2 in the AL East after the first week of the season, I probably would have laughed at you, especially considering that Toronto is supposedly majorly upgraded, and yet they're in last place of the AL East. Tampa Bay is kind of just hanging down here, but also with the Yankees, I would have expected the Yankees to at least do a little bit better against the Blue Jays, and I figured the Blue Jays' second series, they would at least win a few more games. Seeing these two teams at the top is definitely one of those. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if that'll stick around. I don't think so. I think these three teams, the Yankees, Rays, and Blue Jays, will figure it out. They'll eventually surpass the Orioles and the Red Sox. Moving on over to the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins are in the lead. I actually assumed this would actually be the Twins in front and the White Sox behind. I didn't expect the White Sox to be at a 4-4 start. I don't know what you all think about the White Sox in their start, but I feel like they should be 5-2, just like the Twins. I think there was definitely some games they could have won. Just other teams are playing much better. The Indians, the Royals, and Detroit are playing pretty much as expected from a roster, from a win-loss perspective, in my opinion. What do you guys think about the AL Central? Do you think that the Twins are going to hold it up and win the Central so far the first week? It looks like they are. But what about the White Sox? Do you think they're going to make a push to give the White Sox a run for their money? Let me know in the comments. Moving on down to the AL West. The Houston Astros, we pretty much expected would be in the front, but we didn't expect the Oakland Athletics to basically be one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. My goodness, I thought that they would at least be in the top 15. It seems maybe the Dodgers just played them, so after seeing them play, I definitely don't think they're very good right now, especially right now. Maybe they'll figure it out and turn it around. They're the Moneyball team, so being in last place is not unbehooved to the Oakland Athletics. They definitely have been down there before and still made the playoffs in the past. Now, the big one that I think is the Angels. The Angels are playing far better than we expected. I expected them to be 3-4 or 4-3, about a 500 ball club, especially to start the season, especially because they had to open up with the White Sox and then go to Toronto. So I figured at least a 500 or maybe just slightly below, maybe a 2-5. But here they are, 6-2, 8 games into the season. And Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout and David Fletcher are doing a great job, and their pitching actually hasn't been all that bad. Their relievers seem to be their weakest point, but this year the relievers are actually doing pretty good. So very interesting, to see the Angels literally tied with the Houston Astros. I would love to see the Angels just knock off the Astros and have the Astros out. I'm still sour about 2017. So, call me crazy Dodger fan, but I want them out of any playoff position at all. So, although here we go, look at that run differential, plus 27. Of course, they played the A's, 5 times now. So they're minus 36. It's just, AL West is a fun division so far. As we move down to the NL East, Philadelphia Phillies, 5-2. Are they the real deal? That's the question. Right now, the Atlanta Braves I expected to be a little bit better, but here they are. They smoked them last night, with Acuna and Freeman having home runs. But my goodness, I did not think that the Phillies would be the front runners right now in this division. And the Mets, I figured the Mets would be better. Granted, they've only played 4 games. You can't really, say plus or minus, they're doing good or bad, it's 4 games in the season. And the Nationals 1-3. Hey, they played the Dodgers hard yesterday. So these 4 teams, all very good. The Marlins, we expected the Marlins to be at the bottom. So that's no different in my eyes. But these 4 teams are going to flip-flop. They're probably going to get hot. They're probably going to get hot for a little bit, and then they'll get hot, and then they'll get hot. So this is going to be an exciting division to see how many changes in first place that we have for the season. Who do you guys think is going to win the NL East? I would love to see someone like Philadelphia, who is currently picked 4th out of, they're picked to be 4th place team. I'd like to see them come out of it. That would be kind of fun. I mean, seeing the Mets back up there would be fun too. Baseball is better when the big market teams are there. Let's be real. Moving over to the NL Central, Cincinnati is 6-1 with the best record in baseball. If spring training, someone told me, hey, Matt, at the end of spring, the first week, the Reds would have the best record in baseball. I probably would have laughed at you. I'd have been like, nah, you're full of crap. But here we are, 1 week in, Cincinnati Reds had the best record in baseball, 856 win percentage. In that first game, they lost, my goodness, against the St. Louis Cardinals. I know that there's kind of some bad blood between these two. I know Trevor Bauer and his YouTube channel was trying to explain it. He tried to sidestep some things, and he was saying Yadier Molina kind of fuels it a little bit, and but they respect them as a team and a player, but there definitely is a little bit of a rivalry there, which is odd because I thought St. Louis, Chicago were rivals, not Cincinnati. I thought Cincinnati's rival was the Cleveland Indians because they're both Ohio. But if you guys know, let me know, who is the rival of the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know. Is it the St. Louis Cardinals? Because that's the case, and the Cardinals have 2 rivals, the Cubs and the Reds. But either way, the Cubs are playing as expected, and the Brewers, I expected them to be 4-3 at this point, not 3-4. Again, I expected the Cardinals to kind of be where the Brewers are. I expected Milwaukee, Chicago, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. But here we are, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, my goodness, I feel bad for that organization because they just have such a bad ownership group that they just don't put any money into the team. If they would actually be, successful in some way. But either way, who do you guys think is going to win the NL Central? Comment below. And the final division, the NL West, Dodgers are in front at 6-2. I could have said that. I expected them to be, not win every single game because you're never going to see that, but at least be winning more than they lose. So this is pretty much standard for where they were. I didn't expect to see the Padres to be 5-3. I expected them to be about the same as the Dodgers, 6-2, 7-1. I didn't expect 5-3, but losing Fernando Tatis Jr. and the really good play by the San Francisco Giants so far to start the year, kind of understandable. Obviously, it's still the first week, so we can't take too much from what we see here. But the Rockies have actually been somewhat surprising. I expected them to lose, 90-something games, and they've actually been pretty competitive. And Diamondbacks being in last, I expected the Diamondbacks to be 3rd. I expected the Giants to be 4th, the Colorado to be 5th, and then San Diego and LA flip-flopping the whole year. This division is going to be just these 2, unless San Francisco, they've been playing everyone pretty hard. But again, it's the first week, so they might be doing good because it's the first week, and then they figured out how to get attacked, and then they will go, and then at that point, it's going to be interesting to see, what will happen with that division if the Giants are good. But regardless, this is what, the best part about this whole thing is the fact that we have surprises. Cincinnati, being 6-1, that's a surprise. Seeing Baltimore in the lead of the AL East, that's a surprise. You gotta love that stuff. You gotta love it. All right, Ice Cream Man Royals. That's what I'm talking about. I would love to see the Royals. So real quick about the Royals. There's a chance I might actually get to go to a game in June. There's a chance, July. So there's a chance I might be able to go to Kauffman Stadium and then St. Louis. We're trying to get that to happen. All right, so going over to individual players. We're going to go and talk about individual players. I'm going to go to this website called Baseball Savant. If you haven't heard of Baseball Savant, this is a really great website of finding the players with. You get to find all your stats and the above and beyond. You guys all know baseball is all about their stats, but they have stats on stats on stats on stats. They have so many different things. So I'm going to show you guys here. I got to share the screen first again. Share screen. Boom. All right, let's go to. This is Baseball Savant. It's a really great website. So right now, the one I have loaded up is exit velocity and barrel leaders. So what that means is we're looking at, this is the table that is displaying leaders in StatCast metrics such as sweet spot percentage, barrels, exit velocity, batted ball distance, projected home run distance, launch angle, batted ball events. So, and they have a slew of things here. This is pretty great. The average, I'm starting with average exit velocity. And right at the top are players you all have heard of: Manny Machado, Ronald Acuna, Mike Trout, Corey Seager. All these guys are at the top. If we click over and we see max batted balls, Carlos Correa has the highest and hardest hit ball so far this year by 0.1 over Bryce Harper. This was a line drive. This was not a home run. So Carlos Correa, Bryce Harper, Willie Castro. I didn't expect Willie Castro to be up there, but Vlad Guerrero, Matt Olson, Shohei Ohtani. We expected those guys. Willie Castro, I didn't really expect him to be up there, but crazy to see that these are their top exit velocities so far this year. If we look at, here we go. We're going to look at max home run distance. Right, Yermin Mercedes yesterday had a home run that went 485, or 2 days ago, 485 feet. And then Mike Trout hit one 464 feet. Those were the two that I discussed in my previous video. Just, my goodness, long home runs here. Just a long list. There's Ohtani with his home run, the 101 exit velocity. 106 as exit. Oh, yep, 115. That's what the one. That was the other day when he pitched and hit. Joey Gallo. This is just what we would expect. So if you guys haven't ever checked out this website, go check it out. It's a really fun one where you can there's so many different options. And that's what I love about this website. If we look at barrels per plate appearance, Shohei Ohtani is the number one guy. So he puts the barrel on the ball the most out of anyone in baseball per plate appearance, 21.9%. Nick Castellanos is still 5 percentage points away from Shohei Ohtani. That's how good Shohei Ohtani is. Let's go barrels per batted events. And here it is. Shohei Ohtani, again, is the number one guy by quite a big margin. Colin Moran, I don't know if that'll actually hold up. He's actually just had a pretty good start. He might fall down. And then obviously Trout will probably pull back up. But the two guys in the Angels, Trout and Shohei Ohtani, man, they've done a great job so far. So these are the players. These are the stats you want to look at for picking your player of the year or your MVP, your rookie of the year. Well, we could probably do that too. We could probably flip it to there is a way to flip it to rookies, if I recall. But anyways, let me know if you have seen that website before, or if any of those things are new to you. It's a really good website where you could definitely fall into a trap of like, I'm gonna look at baseball stats, and long story short, you'll 2 hours will go by and you'll realize, my goodness, there's so many stats on baseball. The baseball goes crazy with their statistics. So that is the players to watch out for. Again, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, hardest hit balls and barrel rates. Just, my goodness, insane. So we are going to go over some channel updates. So I've discussed the Major League Baseball with the global perspective, with the team standings, the surprise teams such as, the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. Those are things that we expect, we didn't expect that we see. Having looked at individual players like Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout with the highest batted ball barrel rates, that's just, my goodness, the Angels are going to be good. And we're going to know that because of what we're seeing with those stats. They'll probably come down a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to hold true through the entire year. And so some channel updates. We are going to be doing some baseball vlogging at stadiums. So we're going to do our own personal stadium tours. It's not like we're going to go and do an actual pay for a stadium tour. We're just going to go to a game. We're going to show you around the stadium. And so Chris and I are very excited to kind of go and do that. And because of that, we actually got this. I don't know if this will work up. I'm going to show you guys. But we got this really cool map here that showcases all of the stadiums. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to all the stadiums. We're going to get a picture at every single stadium, and we're going to be able to we're going to try and fill this thing up. So we've already knocked off a couple of stadiums together, so we'll probably put them in some pictures from there. But that being said, the stadiums that we haven't been to are the ones we're going to try and get to. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go hit, at the end of this month, we're going to hit the New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies, as well as the Baltimore Orioles. So we're going to hit Camden Yards, Citizen Bank Park, and we're going to hit Yankee Stadium. So there's a lot of really good things that we're going to do here, and that'll be great. At some point, I've got some friends that are in the major leagues that are actually in the MLB, and I'm going to reach out to them and see if they want to do any, like an interview where I could chat with them and talk to them about what their experiences are and what are some, inside the scoop, inside the dugout kind of things that we want to talk about. So we might get some of that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is just an evolving thing. And for me, this is just a hobby, and I just want to bring more people into all this. And that is, for the most part, why I started this channel. So that is the completion of today's live video. I will eventually do a recap of yesterday's games. There were some things we definitely had to go over. The first one being Dexter Fowler had to be carted off the field. There's some the Dodgers got their rings yesterday. We got to talk about that. So you guys will see that a little bit later today, but we had to do this live stream because I wanted to get on here and get some people's, discussion. We want to get this discussion going. So without further ado, we will see you all later today when I finish the recaps of yesterday's games, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Talk to you later, everybody.